The situation in Afghanistan continued to deteriorate over the weekend as the Taliban overtook the capital of Kabul. The Afghan president has now fled the country. The United States has cleared out the embassy in Kabul. We have refugees fleeing the country left and right by the thousands. And President Biden has pledged to send at least 5,000 more U.S. troops to Afghanistan after, of course, we withdrew our troops. And it was the troop withdrawal, of course, that allowed the Taliban to come in and overtake most of the country. They're now waiting inside the capital for what they call a peaceful transfer of power to them. Taliban is basically saying Afghanistan is ours now. Go ahead and sign the documents. So there's a lot to unpack, obviously. Did Biden make the right decision by pulling the U.S. troops out of Afghanistan? Yes. It wouldn't have mattered if this had happened in 2004 or 2010 or 2030. This is what was going to happen because the United States entered Afghanistan with no clear goals, no objectives, no real strategy, just occupation. We propped up the Afghan government and they folded within days of the United States not being there to back them up. We helped train the Afghan army, and apparently that did absolutely nothing. We have given them weapons. We have left our weapons, which are now, of course, in the hands of the Taliban. 5,000 more troops, 10,000, 20,000 isn't going to actually secure the country. So we can either commit to an endless occupation of Afghanistan, where I guess the United States would be the one storming the capital saying, well, we're waiting for the peaceful transfer of power, or we cut our losses and we leave Afghanistan in ruins. Both of those are very bleak choices, if you ask me. But we have to choose. Like, that's the sad, sick situation that we've been put in at this point. We have to choose what to do. Do we leave our military there forever? Or do we just say, screw it? Now, I, for one, do not want any more U.S. troops in Afghanistan. Like, I want to make that abundantly clear. We should not be sending anybody else over to that country. But at the same time, we cannot just let the Taliban inflict their reign on these Afghan people. The Afghan people do not deserve this. And as I mentioned, they are fleeing the country. We have thousands upon thousands of refugees trying to figure out where the hell they're going to go because they can't live like that. And we owe those people. But sending more troops is not the answer. And I'm fully ready to admit that I don't have the answer. And I don't think all the, smart folks on Twitter really have the answer either. But the very least we could do right now is welcome these people into our country. We spent 2 decades destroying theirs. We owe it to them. Allow them to come in. Give them refuge. No questions asked. Come on in. Europe needs to do the same. Other countries over in the Middle East, if they're taking refugees, they need to do the same because we did this to these people. 4 administrations, Bush, Obama, Trump, and Biden, carried out this war. And yes, it was started by Bush, and yes, it was started based on lies. Obama continued it. Trump continued it. Of course, Trump, as we all know, tried to negotiate with the Taliban. Unfortunately, he did not include the Afghan government in any of those negotiations, so that didn't exactly work out. But we owe these people something. We owe them a lot. We owe them a life. And that's who we need to be taking care of right now. The United States is not going to be able to force the Taliban out of Afghanistan with anything less than a full-time, 100% lifelong commitment to staying in the country. And we cannot do that. And I know defense contractors want us to do that. The war machine wants us to do that. The hawks in D.C. want us to do that. But we cannot. No more American lives need to be lost. No more Americans need to be put on the line over there in Afghanistan. We failed. And we have to admit that. And admitting it might just be the first step and then figuring out where to go from here. But the war in Afghanistan came to a close, and all we have to show for it is some dead American soldiers, dead Afghanis, and a government that got toppled in a week. Ring of Fire has fresh content 7 days a week, so if you want to be reminded about it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell to be notified every time a new video goes up.